Hey, good morning, everyone. We are here in Solanas and continuing our counterclockwise route around Sardinia. So far, the hike has been great. I mean, basically, it's hiking, pizza, hiking, pizza. I'm loving it. They should actually call this, the Trail of 100 Pizzas because, I love the food here. I can't just eat pizza, obviously. There's so much other great Italian food. But this is definitely not just a trail for hiking, but it's a culinary trail as well. But I gotta keep going, so let's hike on. It is already a great start of the morning. Say goodbye to Solanas right there. That's the city in the distance. Got to walk by the beach. Those waves look amazing. The water looks super fresh and cool. And walked up through the hillside here on an actual dirt trail, which was great. And oh, look, right there in the middle, there is the remnants of a tower. Not much left to it, but I can tell it's definitely man-made. But now, got to follow this little dirt road, and there is supposed to be at least, a really intact tower that is going to be amazing. In fact, I could see it from down at the beach. Let's see what it looks like up close. Well, right here at the Cape, you got to go uphill even more, and we should be able to get up to it. This is definitely not ADA compliant. Definitely not on this trail, but it should be worth it. My first thoughts upon seeing this tower up close were, well, I was expecting to see a Frenchman pop his head up from the top and say, "Your father was a hamster and your mother smells like elderberries." This is a very well-preserved tower. In fact, if you look really, really closely inside there, it looks like there are original wooden beams. However, there's no direct way to get into the tower if you wanted to explore it other than to climb up this rock face. And it is very doable. I mean, as a rock climbing scale, that's probably like a 5.1, 5.2. But if those rocks come loose for any reason, bam! Well, you just ruin the rest of your hike. We can definitely see why they chose this location. I mean, not only is it defensible, but wow, it's actually quite gorgeous. Well, we are on the outskirts here of the Commune di Villa Simius, and between the hours of 10 o'clock at night and 7 o'clock in the morning, no camping, no fires, no anything really, including bicycling. You can't even bicycle after 10 p.m. That's weird. But luckily it's the middle of the day. I'm glad they don't outlaw hiking, because that would create quite a problem. But hopefully I can find some food in that town. Well, I'm off that hiking path and back onto a regular road. That commune I was just passing by, there were no food options. In fact, the trail actually went through mostly residential areas, so there wasn't even a choice. But Mandori is another little village coming up. Hopefully there's some food there. So yeah, hopefully, because I'm getting hungry. I have one more piece of bread, and I do have some granola, but I'd rather get hot food, because here's the thing about Italy. They don't have breakfasts, even at a bed and breakfast like I just left. The breakfasts aren't, bacon, eggs, pancakes, good hearty breakfast. No, it's definitely not hiker-friendly breakfast because it doesn't really provide a lot of calories. It's mostly tea and coffee and like a croissant. And inside the croissant, there'll be something sweet, something like chocolate or fruit, pistachios, like a cream of some sort. But I'm getting hungry, so let me continue on and hopefully not get hit by one of these cars. Well, here we got a beautiful view of the mountains, but we can also see lots of sheep. I guess this explains all that ringing sound I heard. But here's interesting. Oh, let's get in a little closer. Yeah, the farmers actually shave their butts. I guess they don't want to get poop all in their fur. Here in the side of the road, we got a prime example of authentic Sardinian olives. And I've seen a lot of trees, but this is the first one that actually has olives on it. Now, don't think you can just eat them straight because they have to be treated first. We say goodbye to the road and hello to a nice trail. Hey, look, the guys at Cammino Torri actually put a little sign for us. Woohoo! Thanks, guys. And if you can see it, there's a fence here, but this makes it way easier to get over. Well, this is a pretty cool house. I don't know if it's a converted tower or it was just inspired by the local towers, but yeah, it's got like 2 towers next to each other. Really cool. All right, so we have just finished the 3rd stage here in Mandori. And every stage, like I said, has its own number. but there are 8 VAs, which are, I think A through H. So this was actually A3. And this finishes the first VA, which is good. Now it's about 10:45 in the morning. I was gonna try to get some food, but all the restaurants I see around here, they don't open for like another hour and 45 minutes. But I am here in front of a market, but yeah, they're closed. But, oh yeah, so it's a tobacco shop, so I can get, I can get some tobacco, some vapes. I think there's some condoms up there too. Don't really need much of that in town. But right over here, I think there is, I've got some beer, some drinks and snacks. I might have some of that. And it is Italy, so you can get an espresso, which this gentleman is gonna enjoy. All right, so I'm about to start stage B4. I've got a candy bar and 1 hamburger bun that the nuns gave me the other day. That'll get me through. I'm supposed to actually go through this gate right behind me, but it's not really locked. But it does have like a rope around it. I'm guessing you're not supposed to go through. I'm not sure. I don't want to offend anybody, of course. I am a guest here. So I can just go down that road just a couple hundred, well, not even a couple hundred meters, like 40 meters maybe, take 2 lefts, and I'm in the same place. So let's hike on. Just came across this sign, so of course I had to come read it, or read it as well as I could because it's all in Italian, but the gist is that we just went through an archaeological area, and it looks like the site of the actual dig is at the very top, which we didn't walk by or through, which is good because it helps preserve the site better. But this is an archaeological area, and they found artifacts going as far back as the Bronze Age from 1600 to 1200 BC. There are other artifacts from 620 to 540 AC, and of course a lot during the Roman Republic. It shows the trade routes between here, Sicily, Tunisia, and Corrales. Now, Corrales is the ancient name for Cagliari. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, so one thing I'm learning already is that even though this is the low season, the hiking weather is perfect. I couldn't imagine hiking this like in a month or so, even though I won't be done with the trail in a month, so it's gonna be a lot hotter. But unfortunately, a lot of the restaurants and businesses and hotels aren't even open yet. And on the official route, some of the ways are, let's say they're closed. There's like gates, they're locked, so you can't go through. But you work your way around. It's not a problem. This last one here, I got to a gate and I was either gonna have to walk back, I don't know, maybe like 400 meters, or a little bit of athleticism. Got right around it. Now, that doesn't mean I jumped the fence. I didn't do that. That's trespassing, not doing that. But I went down by the water and kind of went along the seawall, had to wait for like the tide to go out, walk through before the wave came back in, and then, obviously I would have got wet. So, it just makes it more of an experience. Well, check that out. You can actually rent a submarine. Never actually been on a submarine underwater before. I mean, I've done the tours of the old Navy submarines, but that's cool. So we're in the port here. There is a restaurant, but I saw one online. It should be just around the corner that looked a little more appetizing. And here it is, Acqua e Sale. This is the Fortress Vecchia, and it used to be used to protect the port below against Turkish and Barbary pirates. But of course, it is closed, and I don't know if it's because it's early in the season or because, I don't know, renovations, but it doesn't look like they've cut this grass in a long time. Still pretty cool history, though. Now this coastline is definitely different. Much more lively, bigger waves, sharp rocks, definitely no swimming here, unless you got a death wish. Houston, we have a problem. Well, it's more of an inconvenience. But this sign says, don't pass without authorization. I think it's because the tower that we could see in a distance, it looks like it has all construction going on, restoration and such. Hey, there's over 100 towers, there's gonna be some with restoration. So, I'm gonna have to find a way around this section and reconnect with the trail further on. So I'm gonna try to take the coastline around. It's actually a shorter way, and according to the satellite imagery, it looks like it's passable. But I guess I'm gonna find out in a couple hundred meters. Well, I was looking at going this way. Those seas, one big wave, I get swept in. Yeah, this is a no-go. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna turn back. I might have to go back a couple kilometers, but I'll get back onto the original trail. Okay, so I talked to some locals and they said that this route here is open, where you can go up and over without getting into the closed area. We'll see what happens. Well, it looks like the locals were half right. Yes, I can get over the mountain, but it looks like I may be in the closed area. So I'm gonna work my way out of this as soon as possible. Just keep walking, following, and take that route going over on the other side. So I just met these other locals who are on their way up to the tower, and they said that closed signs here in Italy, they're more of suggestions. All right, we are down from the mountain, back here along the seashore. All right, so the trail is actually showing that it goes through this isthmus here. Wow, I think it's the first time in my adult life I've ever used the word isthmus. All right, so as you can tell from this wave that is literally right at my feet, it crosses this area. I might have to take my shoes off. So far, so good. It's been a few waves, but they've been very shallow and the shoes are still on. All right, made it, and the feet stayed dry. The water depth was only maybe 12 millimeters, so it is doable, but crazy part was nobody else was trying to cross the isthmus until I did. And now there's like about 12 people out there. Well, looks like my day is gonna be cut a little bit short. It's only 3:45 in the afternoon, but the next lodging option is 19 kilometers further down the trail. And just not gonna make that before sunset. So yeah, I do have my tent and I could wild camp, but I'm trying to actually follow the rules. I'm trying real hard, trust me. So, but I found a hotel. It's about 1.8 kilometers inland here from Simius at the coast. So I'll get some rest, be well rested, ready to go tomorrow. It's a pretty nice little town though. Very architecturally cool. Behind me is the hotel I chose. It's the Hotel I Graniti, and it's really nice. Much nicer than I anticipated. So, but me being stuck here a little early in the day may actually be a blessing because tomorrow is Easter. And beside the fact that I didn't really see much civilization in the next 19 kilometers, well, it's also Easter, so everything's gonna be closed most likely. So I just hit a grocery store in town. It's called the Conad, and yeah, so even if there's no groceries or restaurants or anything open, I could probably go I could go easily 2.5 days without with just cooking for myself. All right, let's check out this room. Oh wow. Yeah, I'd say this is pretty nice. This is what 65 euros gets you here in Villa Simius. Hey, good morning. Well, today is not just any morning, it's Easter morning. So the town is definitely focused on Easter activities. Out in front of the church, it was super busy. A lot of people out there getting their Easter on. So, and yes, I actually hiked here to the Commune di Villa Simius. So yeah, it's only 1.8 kilometers, and I'm so glad I did because last night I went out for this amazing dinner, great rest. That hotel was well worth it. Now, in my backpack, I've got a couple sandwiches that I made with some local cold cuts, some other snacks. So today, I'm just gonna be chilling, hiking, and just enjoying the local scenery. Today the trail actually brings us inland a bit, away from the ocean. You can see the mountainside, you're inside this little canyon, and while I love the ocean, I love the ocean's tides, the waves, the power, I also enjoy a nice canyon as well. So that's where we're at today, for a little bit at least. Ciao. Ciao. And behold, it's our first tower of the day. It's Torre di Calapira. All right, so I have walked all the way around this tower, and there is no way to get in there without doing some serious climbing. In fact, on the facade, they've actually smoothed it out. So I don't know if the intent is just to, reinforce it or to deter climbers. And of course, I'm a climber. So, but yeah, you can't get inside it without doing some serious and potentially risky climbing. So we'll just admire it from the outside. right, so we are here in Calasinzias, and this is the end of section B4. No, we do not have bingo. Whoever called bingo, no. This is not bingo. This is not over. We got more hiking to do, and now we're going to begin section B5. And no, we still don't have bingo. This next section, B5, is 28.2 kilometers. So I don't think I'm gonna make that the rest of today, but hopefully I'll be able to find some accommodations somewhere in the middle. But look at this is amazing. And there's people out there surfing, which is cool. So it's the first time I've actually seen people in the water as opposed to just looking at it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, run! Aha! I beat you! And whoa! All right. Let's try this. All right. Here we go. It's a big wave coming in. Well, the map shows the trail going right through this gate, but yeah, that's locked, chained, not gonna happen. All right, well, time to recalculate, re-navigating. All right, so that's the option right there. Okay, it looks like I'll have to be high on that bank to get around that water. Okay, I managed to get through that area, but I didn't get through that area. Yeah, I'll admit it, I had to jump over a fence. Actually, two fences, one to get into an area, one to get out. You can't safely get through there, and the area you need to get through is fenced off. So guess what you gotta do? Just jump over that fence, but do it quickly and don't leave any trace, except for this video. So if that's your land, sorry about that, but I had to get through, and yeah, thanks. Hey everyone, so I'm here at Jesus Point. At least that's how I think it translates to. It's like Santa Giusta. I don't know if that's Jesus, but that's Jesus right there for sure, right behind me. So I just want to wish all my Christian friends out there a happy Easter, or happy Pasquale, I think it is in Italian. So yeah, happy Easter. The coastal town here of Costa Rey is actually open. There's actually a lot of restaurants that are open, which really kind of surprised me considering it was Easter. Plus some locals told me, hey, a lot of stuff may not be open on Easter. So I guess I didn't need all this food. I could have went to a restaurant, but I guess I could stay here, but I haven't really done that many kilometers today, and there's still 4 more hours until sunset. So I'm gonna keep going and see what I can find. I don't know whoever said long walks on the beach are romantic. I'd say they're tiring, slow, grueling, and I've been on this beach for a long time, covering a lot of kilometers. Now, short walks on the beach, sure, but definitely not long. But luckily, I just got some area here where there's some dirt. This is not the dunes, so yeah, don't walk on the dunes. This is just some dirt next to these trees and some farmland, and yeah, much better. Alrighty, well, we have another obstacle. Yep, the map says my trail is right through there. That looks pretty darn deep. Alright, let me see if I can find a way around. Just inside this locked fence is one of the camping options. Actually, I should say it looks like one of the few and only camping options in this area. So yeah, they are closed. Went to their website and they don't open until I believe the 18th of May. So I'm actually not totally disappointed because apparently in May, a campsite here is 178 euros for the night. But I guess they know they're the only option in the area. Eventually I found a way around it and we are here, the Comune di Moravera. So Capo Ferrato is right ahead, and way up on top of that hill is actually the only tower in this entire section. Okay, the marked trail actually goes along this road, but a parallel road is over here. I'm gonna take that one just because it's dirt and it's easier on the feet. So last night when I was in the hotel, I had some free time since I did have an earlier day, and I looked at the guidebook, looked at the route in the guidebook and compared it to the route that's actually in the app that the guidebook sends you to, and they were different. So one thing I deduced was that there are multiple ways to do this trail, and so, you know, you want to do a variant. As they say, hike your own hike. So instead of doing that asphalt road over there, I'm going to take this nice dirt road, and it's a lot more shaded too. The guidebook says there's only one tower in this entire stage. I can see it there at the top of the hill, but I just happened to look on this other hill and I can see another tower. Oh, I guess those ancient people must have built a lot more than we thought. Such a beautiful location here on the side of the road. Time for a roadside sandwich. Well, if I don't find something soon, this may be my bed for the night. Well, I came across this sign here. It wasn't in the guidebook, but it's a bed and breakfast. It's a little over 5 kilometers away, and hopefully there's something. I just tried calling, no answer, and left a WhatsApp message, which was received to their phone. Let's see what happens. Hey, good evening. Well, I tried and I called. I actually spoke to some people, and it seems like there is no place to sleep around here. So, yep, you see what looks like a tent behind me or above me and around me. Well, I'm not camping. I'm doing what's called bivouacking. So apparently in Europe, there's a difference between camping and bivouacking. And camping, you cook out and you party and blah, blah, blah. Bivouacking is at sunset, you get in your shelter, which in this case is a tent, and at sunrise, you get up, you pack up your stuff, and you continue. And that's what I'm doing. I'm bivouacking. So I hope that's okay. But if it's not, I really had no other options. So that's all right. You know, I'm comfortable in this tent. But yeah, at first light, I'll be up and I'll be moving. All right. Good night. Hey, good morning. Wow, I got some great sleep last night. If you can tell from that orb behind me, that's the sun. So I was up at first light, and it's good to be on road. Yeah, it's not really trail, but it's road, close enough. But yeah, yesterday was actually about a 37-kilometer day. I was actually kind of surprised. So today, I'm gonna try to finish up. I've only got about 5 kilometers or so left on stage B5, and then I should be able to finish all of B6 today and hopefully get reset back on the cycle of actually having accommodations, if they're open. It's early in the season, anything's possible, but the next town, I think, like I said, it's only a few kilometers down the road. Might be able to get some breakfast. This is one of the bed and breakfasts I tried last night, and unfortunately they are not open. Just up this way was another bed and breakfast, also not open. Beautiful area though. And no luck with this bed and breakfast last night either. There's lots of them, but I guess it's too early in the season. We've arrived at Torri Salinas. This is the end of stage B5, and we're about to start stage B6. But here, there is, right behind me, a restaurant. It doesn't open up until about midday at lunchtime, so I missed it. And right over here, there's a coffee shop and gelato, but for some reason there's no gelato. I guess it's not hot enough yet. But you can get coffee because, well, it's Italy, and there's always coffee. But more importantly, right there, if you can see that yellow sign, there's a market. So they sell bread, cold cut meats, cheese, and even got some bananas. So I got some food, and and even more important, there's toilets. So you can fill up with water there and use the toilets. But I gotta get back on trail and hike on. So you'd think with the name of Torri Salinas that there would be a torre or tower around here. And apparently there was. A couple hundred meters back, there's a side trail that gets to Torri Salinas. But luckily, from right here, let's see, right there, that's the tower. So yeah, I mean, I could walk all the way back a couple hundred meters, maybe 400 meters, and then take the side trail to see it, but I can see it just fine from here, and there's definitely no shortage of towers on Cammino Torri. Our trail appears to be waterlogged. Yep, that's basically a river. Well, a stream. It's going out toward the ocean. All right, let me find a way around. Well, I got across that water. Yep, I just summoned my Jesus power, just like, because yesterday was Easter, and I just walked right across. All right, looks like we have our first tower of the day that we get to see up close. There is a gate. You can see the tower behind it, but there's a little pathway around the gate because I'm not a car. So I get to this one point where there's a bridge, but before that bridge, there's a gate, and it's private property. Luckily, right behind me, that car, the owner was actually coming at the same time, and he's like, oh, it's private property. He's like, oh, are you with the Cammino Torri? And I was like, yes. He's like, oh, okay, for you I'll make an exception. So if he wasn't here, I don't know, it would have been challenging. Okay, I've been looking at this tower the entire time on the beach, so we're getting close. Torre di Porto Corallo. Now let's see if it's open. Nope, locked up tighter than a frog's butt. There's a storm forecasted to arrive here shortly, and there is just a random shelter here, and I may regret this, but I'm gonna continue. Just had to come up this hill. The winds have picked up a bit and there is some light drizzle rain, but it's worth it because we just have our next tower. Let me introduce you to this pine tree. It is providing me shelter from this slight rain while I have this nice light sandwich. So the map says there's a trail down there. All I see is thick bushes, but all right, let's go do some exploring. Okay, so I just went down there, and I don't know if the trail hasn't been hiked in a long time and there's just tons of overgrowth, but it is thick vegetation, and then I think there's like a cliff. So I'm gonna try to find a different way around. Thank goodness for satellite imagery. Okay, so far I've come off that ridge, kind of made my own trail through here, and right over there is somebody's house, and I see a driveway. That'll get me all the way down to the main road, but I gotta get over to the driveway first. Okay, down there became impassable, but if you can see here, this is a utility cable that leads to the house, so hopefully that should be passable. Okay, there was a fence there. I took the fence down, put the fence back up, and I'm at the house. Now I just gotta get to the driveway and go down. And we have found the driveway. The crappy part was it had just rained all day, so all those leaves on all the bushes, yep, I am now soaked. All right, this is for you, the administration for Cammino Torri. You probably see this area where I'm at. You probably recognize that house. And yeah, this section needs to be reblazed, remarked, something. I wouldn't expect anybody to go through the terrain I just went through. Yeah, me, yes, and it wasn't enjoyable at all. But yeah, this section here needs some attention. Better mark that trail if it's overgrown, whatever. But yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it. I was kind of anticipating this, unfortunately. There's a gate. Hopefully it's unlocked or else I'm jumping over. And of course there was a lock, but I'm over. Okay, and we have reconnected with the official trail. Let's see if the trail's easier to follow from this point on. Hey, surprise, surprise, it's another gate. Luckily, I know how to open these ones, and of course I'll close it after I'm through. The skies are definitely clearing up, turning out to be a beautiful day. Well, after a very interesting day involving a few reroutes and trailblazing, plus it rained a bit, making it even a little bit more challenging. It's been quite an adventure. But here we are in Kira, and it ends stage B6. B7 is next, and the sun sets in about an hour and a half, and every single accommodation that I've sent a message to about staying has not responded. So I think they may be closed. Oh, guess what? This bar that's right behind me? Yep, it's closed too. Hey, good evening. Well, as you can tell, I'm bivouacking again. It is right at sunset, so I will sleep here until the morning, and right at first light, again, I'll be gone. Where am I actually bivouacking? That's what you're asking. Well, have you seen all those advertisements for Italian homes for €1? Well, they're abandoned homes. and that's where I'm at tonight. This house structure, there's like no roof to it, and it's abandoned. So off to the side and on the back, put up my tent. It's a windy night though. So, but here's also another dilemma I have. I don't have a map. Now, I mean, I have the paper map from the book, and that's kind of what I'm going off of, but mostly I try to use the electronic map, because at the beginning and end of every stage, you're usually, well, so far it's always been at a location where there's a cellular signal so you can load the next map. There was no signal. So I'm kind of like trying my best. So I think I'm on the right trail. I don't know. So lesson learned, when you have a signal, download the next stage, maybe 2, maybe 3 stages ahead, just in case, because they work offline, and nothing says you can't. If you want, you can download all 70 stages before you even start. So when I do get a signal, I'm actually going to download stages B, 7, 8, probably 9. So, all right, but for now, I'm going to go to bed, and in the morning, I'm going to start going on the road and try to get someplace where hopefully I get a signal to make sure I'm actually on the right trail. Hey, good morning. Well, believe it or not, less than 5 seconds after I finished my wrap-up video last night, I got some visitors at that house. Yeah, I heard 2 cars pull up, or cars. Turned out it was 2 of them, and I'm sitting there going, well, I guess I'll go introduce myself, and hey, this is where I'm sleeping. I hope it's okay. I figured maybe it was the owners or somebody in charge. No, turned out it was 4 kids. And by kids, I mean, I don't know, late teens, early 20s. And 4 dudes, no women, rave music. No, I'm not one to judge, but no, they were just there to party, and it was like boom, 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 you know, all this music, which, you know, they were cool. We talked. They actually spoke a little bit of English, so, but they were like, oh yeah, and you know, they were just hanging out, you know. So they were there for probably about, I don't know, an hour or so. They even offered to let me smoke some weed with them, but I passed because, you know, I'm going to bed. So, but yeah, then windy, really windy last night, but no, it was all good, and yeah, here I am back on trail. Or at least I think I'm on trail. I still don't have cellular signal. So, I don't know. Once I get a signal, let's find out how far I got to backtrack if I'm off trail. Well, good news and bad news. Good news is I finally got up by this highway and got just barely enough signal to download the new maps, which is great. Bad news is I got to walk, I don't know, 2.5, 3 kilometers back and then take the right instead of the straight. So, but I've got the maps for the next 42 kilometers, which is actually a section of B7 and B8. So, all right, let's hike on. We are back at Barkira, where we ended stage B6 yesterday, and we have to go this way. But look what I just noticed. Totally missed that last night. There's that small little Cammino Torri sign in yellow right in front of me. All right, let's go. The trail continues straight, but there's a tomb just down here. I gotta go check it out. Okay, there's a whole bunch of words in Italian. Yeah, I can't really make that out, but the tomb is right here. Very cool. Well, I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if it's another tomb. This was just off on the side of the trail, and it's definitely man-made. Well, we've got a herd of cows here, and the trail does go through this fence. Now, this is an electric fence, and it is electrified. So this is going to be tricky, but I will get around it, or over it, or under it. All right, I'm on the other side. I took my pack off and just went under. These cows don't even seem to care. Electric fence, powered by these 2 batteries. Well, you see that farmhouse down below? Well, the local farmers were there, and I saw them filling up one of the water troughs for their animals. So I asked if I could use a little water. And of course they're like, what, for drinking? I was like, yeah. And they're like, here, let me give you like real bottled water. So they gave me a bottle of water, which was cool. But I do have my water treatment Sawyer filter. So I would have taken the cow, horse, goat water also. Well, these animal troughs actually are some of the best water I've seen yet. Or should I say only water. All right, so the trail is supposed to go through here, but this is, yeah, definitely overgrown, not maintained. I gotta find another way around. Okay, using the maps, I found this dirt road. This is where I should have come out if the trail was maintained and you could make it passable, but I will reconnect and the trail should go this way. And this gate looks like it hasn't been opened in a long time. All right, I might have to disconnect a few points from this and then cross it and reconnect. Oh look, oranges ripe on the tree. And some have even fallen on the ground. Those sure would be delicious. Something tells me that these buildings aren't gonna have any pizza. Well, if you can see those sheep in the distance behind me, yeah, normally sheep aren't a problem. I've seen plenty of sheep here. But there were about 6 very formidable sheepdogs that became very aggressive. There was a fence separating us, but then one of them got underneath the fence and there was nothing between him and me, and I just turned back to him and said, no. And then he turned around and went back under. And as I continued walking, there's a huge break in the fence. So I don't know if they have more bark than bite, but yeah, I don't know, defending myself against 6 formidable dogs, that would have been challenging. Okay, this might be made for sheep, but I'm drinking from it. This is the Sawyer water filter if you're not familiar with it. You just put the dirty water in here and you can drink straight from it. It purifies it while it goes through the filter. Oh, that's good. Down below, there's actually houses with people. Let's see if I can get a pizza. Some kind of food. I have been eating just energy bars all day. As we slowly get closer to the sea, we actually see our first tower of the day, or what's left of it. Okay, this faded sign says Rural Hotel. Let's see if there's anything. Maybe they're open. That's a swing and a miss. I did meet the proprietor of the establishment, but hotel's closed. And apparently in this town, there's no restaurant open. So I might be eating energy bars for a while. I got a few more left. I managed to find the local market here, and according to this sign, it says it's open from those hours right there. And I was in between those hours, but only 45 minutes until the 5:30 opening. But I talked to a local guy who was walking by. He's like, yeah, that's in season. So, yep, the market isn't even open. So, but, we did have good electricity, so thank you very much, Market, for letting me top off the charge on my phone. All right, maybe I'll have to come back sometime when you guys are open. Hello, beach. Oh, yeah, there's a restaurant. Oh, it's closed. But this is Foxy Merdujo, and it's beautiful. Just wish there was more open right now. Oh, what do we have there? It's a castle. Oh, wow. Restaurant, pizzeria, and a spa. That's everything I want right now. Let me give them a call and see if they're open. Well, they were actually open. I called them, talked to them, and I could have got a pizza, but they don't open for another hour and 15 minutes, and I need to get a place to sleep, so looks like energy bar dinner tonight. Hey, good evening. Well, yep, you guessed it, I'm bivouacking again. I did actually reach somebody at one of the campsites, which is only a few kilometers down the road, but I would have got there a little bit after dark. But he spoke Italian. I didn't speak Italian, but eventually we were able to communicate with WhatsApp and using Google Translate. He's like, but he says, hey, yeah, we're closed. Go figure, like everything else. He says, but there's a place that's open. I can give you their contact info. Great, except that place was 33 kilometers ahead, walking, 36 in a car. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'll keep it in mind for tomorrow. And I might stay there tomorrow, we'll see. But for now, I'm just gonna sleep here in my bivouac and hopefully be able to stay in a hotel or a campsite or something a little more normal tomorrow. Hey, good morning, and it is a beautiful morning. Wow, one of the best parts about being here on the east side of the island is you can almost see the sunrise every single day. I was able to do that today. And, yep, that's a water spigot right there behind. So, yeah, got some much needed water. It's great, but got to continue walking here along this road. Yesterday, I think I did about a 37, 38 kilometer day. So, and that doesn't even count like the penalty kilometers I had to do when I took a wrong turn. And I will take credit for making the mistake. That's my bad. I should have downloaded the map ahead of time and not have assumed that I had a signal to download it. So, hey, it happens. And if I hadn't done that, I probably would have finished this 42-kilometer section just because. I mean, to do a whole section of 42 kilometers in one day, that's a bit of an accomplishment. It's one of the longer sections on this entire Cammino Torri. So, but today I'm hoping to actually get a campsite, a hotel. I need a shower. I need some food. So I'm getting kind of sick of energy bars and granola. So, all right, let's hike on. This old pizza box is the closest thing to pizza I've seen in days. There's gotta be some pizza up ahead, somewhere. It's Italy after all. Well, today was my lucky day. I went by this camping area, which I couldn't find on the map, but yeah, it's here, so which is awesome. But they've got a little cafe here. You get coffee, ice cream, gelato, and right here, the pizza puff pastries. As you can tell, there's none left because I ate 4 of them. So this guy here is awesome. So grazie mille. Alessandro. All right, Brian. Nice to meet you. Ciao. All right. So I am full, and he even let me charge my electronics, so which is great. But on this lonely, lonesome highway east of Omaha, we end section B78 to begin section B9. 'Cause here I am on the road again. Here I am. Turn the page. All right, we are on the right path to Arbatax. And the trail brings us back to the beach where we have about 10 kilometers of sand walking. But I'm going to see if the ground is a little bit more firmer near this tree line. About 40 meters in that direction is the sea and the soft beach. Now, I saw the parallel road, so I took the road. It's just a lot less grueling. But check this out. Yeah, that is the sticker for the Cammino Torri, which tells me that the digital map, which has a green line, does differ from potentially the real line. So the real map shows this way. So there are 2 different ways you can go. Choose your own adventure. Okay, I can totally do this. Just gotta time the waves just right. This is Torre di Bari, and it even has one of the original cannons out here on display. With everything closed like this in all the towns, this is what Will Smith must have felt like in the movie I Am Legend. Just off here to my right is the camping place that the other campsite told me about yesterday. But there's still like 3.5 hours of daylight, so I'm gonna try to make a push to Arbatax. Let's go. So at the end of this stage, stage B9, there's actually the camping village Ori. I just got off the phone with the lady there. She was so friendly. She was like, oh, hey, how are you? Now she was speaking Italian, I was speaking Spanish, but we understood each other. And oh yeah, everything's great, 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 great. Is there availability? She's like, yeah, when? I'm like, tonight. She's like, oh, we're closed. So that means I'll just continue further into Arbatax, which I looked on Booking, and there are plenty of places that are open. I might get there around 7, but that's okay. Oh, and if you notice my umbrella, this is my hiking umbrella. It has been a lifesaver today. It is, I think it's the 3rd of April. The sun is so intense. This is keeping the temperature down. Lifesaver. Just a few kilometers south of Arbatax, this brings us to the end of stage B9. Yep, so now we're gonna begin, not B10, but rather we're moving from B to C. This is VAC, so be C10. And right behind me there, that's Arbatax. I think I'm gonna be there tonight, and oh yeah, gonna get a hotel. I mean, really, I haven't been spending any money on accommodations the last 3 nights. So I'm gonna get a nice hotel. I think one that includes breakfast even. And tonight, oh yeah, pizza, linguine, fettuccine, ravioli, lasagna. I'm eating it all. Wow.
Oh, amazing, amazing. And there's one more level.
Wow. Amazing is right. Locks of love. Well, this is my bed and breakfast I made a reservation at. It looks like another convent. Okay, the bed and breakfast is actually right here. Ah, good. Oh, I mean, the nuns were nice last time, but this is less parochial. Hey everyone, after a great dinner here in Arbatax where I didn't actually have pizza, I know I've been talking about pizza, but I went for the linguine with seafood and some fried calamari, and the restaurant was so cool, they even gave me a dessert. They gave everybody a dessert. I didn't need the dessert, but oh, it was so good. But it's been 150 something kilometers since the last video, so I figured it's time to post this one here so you guys kind of get a latest update. These last kilometers have been challenging. There's some parts of the trail that were difficult to follow, but anyone who tries the Cammino Torri needs to be able to navigate on their own sometimes, because sometimes the trail doesn't really follow the map. So hey, that just adds to the adventure. It adds to the frustration sometimes when you're like, hey, where's the trail? The trail's supposed to be right here. Well, you know, sometimes things change. So you have to be flexible, and that's what it's like when you're out in nature, and hey, it is what it is. So yeah, I don't know, if you want to just stand in a line and just continue following the person in front of you, then you could either go to Disney World or you can go to Mount Everest and pay 70, 80,000 euro to follow a person in front of you to the top and say, hey, I accomplished something. Here on the Cammino Torri, yeah, you can accomplish it because you actually had to engage your brain sometimes and actually think and make decisions. So yeah, but hey, thanks for watching this second video, and hopefully we'll have some more in the future. I did a little preview of some of the sections coming up, and they are going to be challenging, so let's see if we're up for it. All right, thanks for watching. Hike on!